Okay, sports fans, so what we have here today is the next part of what I've done to the riser. What I've done was I've taken the two bundles, if you remember, the Purpleheart and Bicote wood. I've made two bundles, each 1.5 inches in width, because these are 1/2 inch boards that I cut down, and it's 12 inches long. So what I did was, once they were all cured, as you can see, I got a seam here. I put them together and let this cure overnight. So now it's all dry, and I'm going to start sanding it, and then I'm going to start making my measurements, and I'm going to do my cuts, setting my limbs in place so that it will be a super mag. So I'm going to show you how I come on with the angles, and well, we'll take it one step at a time, and you'll see how I do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, sports fans, is we know that this is 12 inches long. So we want to mark the middle, and we're going to take our speed square to do that. So we're going to go right at the 6 inches, and we're going to strike a line. And then I'm going to sand all this down on both sides of the block. What am I going to use for that? Well, here, let me show you. We're going to use this. We're going to use a grinder. That's what I use. You can remove wood real fast, or you can remove it real slow, depending on the pressure that you put on it. So I'm not going to have you look at all that, but I'm going to do that, and then we'll get right back to where we need to be again. All right. What I've done was I've taken the riser. Okay, we got the glue off for the most part, and we just did like a rough sanding. So split it right down the middle. This is where my shelf is going to be. Why am I going to do that? Well, I know a lot of bowyers like to put the shelf about 1 inch to 1.5 inches higher than the handle. I, on the other hand, don't believe that that's the way it should be. They say that it takes the stress off the bottom limb. I think otherwise. I think that it actually adds to it. And here I made a crude drawing, if you can see this in the sun. If we have the arrow and the shelf shooting off the shelf at dead center, provided that we have equal tiller, okay, and this limb isn't heavier, then everything's going to be equal. If we raise it up 55%, what happens? Well, there's going to be a little bit more stress on this limb, isn't there? And what about this? Let's say hypothetically, we would never do this, but if we had the shelf 75% up on the bow, what is going to bend, this or this? What's going to bend more? This is a simple question. Of course, this would be the correct answer. That's going to bend like there's no tomorrow and probably snap. So I like having it, I'm going to have the shelf, the arrow is going to be shooting right off the center, right off the center. That's how I made my first super mag, and guess what? It's my best shooting bow. I've got bows that I've bought, I've got other bows that I made, and it shoots perfectly. I get my best shots out of that bow. So that's what I'm doing, okay? You could do whatever you want when you're building your riser. Next, what I did was I took my speed square, and I did 30-degree angle. And that's how my limbs are going to set. Or sit, I guess I should say. That's going to give me an overall length unstrung of 52 inches. Strung, I'm looking for about 48 inches. Even if it's a little bit lower, that's fine. I'm thinking that on this angle, most limbs are set on a riser at about 20%. This being a super mag, my first super mag that I made, I set them really high, I think at like 45 degrees. And it gave me a brace height of like 11 inches. This last mag that broke, well, that was perfect. That was at like 30 degrees, 32 degrees, and it gave me like a 9-inch brace height. And that's perfect. So that's what I'm aiming for. So now what I've got is I've pretty much kind of, roughly drawn out my riser. And of course I kept it oversized, because as we take the wood down by cutting it or grinding it off, we want to make sure we don't make it too thin. Although with this wood, you know, hardwood, it shouldn't, it probably could be thinner than I typically make them and not have any problems. But I have like a 30 or 32 degree angle here that I'm going to be setting the limbs on. And I didn't want to have to take a chance of screwing it up by using a handheld. So I'm going to use this table saw here in order to do that. So two little cuts here. Just want to make sure that we get them correct. So we hit this first. Okay, so that's one cut. So at least we know this is going to be nice and flat. I can just hand sand that, make it nice and smooth, and we're good to go there. So the limb's going to sit on that nice and even. At least I hope so. It kind of looks like it's a little off. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be better than what I would do by hand. So we're going to do the same thing here. We'll do it this way. Okay. That's it. So got these two cuts, and now we can just start whittling it down. So, you guys, there I am. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.